Want to know how to be a real estate agent and be in the top 20% of all realtors that make $100,000 or more per year? Stick around and find out. Welcome to Upflip TV. My name is Vlad, and on this channel we uncover the secrets from successful business owners and entrepreneurs in an exclusive interviews, and they will share with you their stories that you too can apply to your business. They will give you practical advice and actionable steps that you can take to be successful like them.
The realtors that don't start doing a lot of hyperlocal content and advertising and don't become experts, don't have the right training, don't have the right tools, they're going to get cut out of the industry.
The real estate market is a very lucrative business, and high-end realtors can make anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000 per year. However, 80% of all real estate sales are made by the top 20%. On the flip side, 80% of all realtors share 20% of all real estate sales. To get into the 20%, you need pro tips on how to be a realtor that makes that kind of revenue. Luckily, we have Paul Balzotti, who is willing to share with us insider secrets and cutting edge knowledge when it comes to being a realtor in the changing market. Paul has been voted as the top 50 realtors in Washington from 2013 to 2016. He has taken a step up by buying the franchise from John L. Scott and running his own team. So this guy knows what he's talking about, so let's go meet Paul. Hey Paul, thanks so much for coming on our channel.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I was doing research on you, and I noticed you do really well and you're really good at what you do. So I'm really excited to have you share with us your insider secrets on what you do.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's awesome.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and how did you get into real estate?
So I grew up with my family in real estate. So my dad had his own real estate company when I was growing up. My mom was in real estate, and basically I came up to Bellingham. They were in Seattle. Came up to Bellingham to go to school, and then I basically came right out of school, and I always kind of knew I wanted to get into real estate. Probably once I realized when I was a kid I wasn't going to be like an NFL football player. Pretty much from like high school on, I knew I was going to be in real estate. So right out of college, when I was 21, I got my real estate license.
Wow.
And kind of just started from there.
Wow, and how long have you done?
So it's been almost 17 years.
Wow.
Almost 17 years, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, I think that it's interesting when you grow up in it, because growing up in it, I looked at my dad and I thought, this is, he's the ultimate professional, and this is like this really, amazing kind of career to have. Yeah. And then it was interesting, the evolution of kind of then going to real estate license school and seeing around all these people who are like, yeah, I'm going to try real estate, and I'm coming out of this job and I'm going to do this, and looking around the room and going, wow, this is, and then talking to people when you say you're going to be a realtor, and realizing that a lot of people, don't look at realtors as this,
hero like that you saw.
Yeah, exactly, as this really amazing career to have.
Yeah.
And so it was, but that's the way I always saw it.
Yeah.
And I looked at it from the very beginning as this is the career I want to have. And so it's a different lens when you grow up in it, and especially when you grow up with somebody who's super established and super successful than the average person, kind of just how they looked at realtors, I think.
Wow.
So it kind of changed how I kind of got into it even too, just having that. And then of course having him as my mentor.
So how do you pick a company like John L. Scott?
Yeah. Well, when you're starting, obviously there's a lot of different companies to choose from. For me, my stepdad. So my mom married two realtors, divorced one, married another one.
Okay.
And my dad's company was Balzotti Real Estate. So he had his own company in Seattle. My stepdad had owned a John L. Scott franchise in Monroe, Washington. And so I was very familiar with John L. Scott. I was considering a couple other companies as well. But at that time, not only did I have the familiarity with John L. Scott, I knew it was a great company. The CEO, Lennox Scott, it's a family-owned company. I knew who the CEO was. I knew he was I knew from my parents he was a good man and it was a great company. And at that time, it was one of the only companies in 2003 that had a really good website.
Okay.
That had a really good real estate search.
Wow.
Because that was just when searching online was really taking off big time.
Yeah.
And they had map searches,
Wow.
GPS map searches in 2003.
And what year was this?
2003.
Okay.
JohnLScott.com had map searches. So I was, as a 21-year-old, I loved that the company was really tech forward.
Yeah.
And again, I had the familiarity with the company already. And so that's why I chose to work here.
Wow, okay. So you got your career going, and when did it really start to take off? What was that point?
Yeah. So I was fortunate because I had my dad who was in the business kind of mentoring me. And so I knew before I got my license, I knew I already had to start putting in work because in real estate, you're really starting your own business, right? You're becoming an entrepreneur. You're really, and you have to be aware of that from the very beginning. And so I had kind of a beat on kind of what steps I need to be taken. And so I was already kind of talking to my sphere, we call it sphere, people that we know and that trust us, about how I was getting into real estate. I was trying to kind of keep track of the people in my life that might be buying or selling. I was just already thinking that way. So I had a very fast start to my career.
Okay.
I mean, I think I sold 8 or 9 homes in my first 6 months.
Wow.
Which is pretty unusual. But I would say that the milestone was this, early in my career, I was just hustling everywhere you can. I'm doing open houses, I'm calling for sale by owners, I'm, talking to anybody I know about real estate, and just showing up every day, right? And so I'm working. It's going good. What helped my career take off personally was about 2 years in, there was an investor who was flipping homes. And he kind of just took to me, he liked me, and he said, I want you to be our realtor for like our flipping. And this is back in 04, 05, during that boom. And so it was like one of those I buy house companies. And then I was the realtor all of a sudden for buying them and then flipping them.
Wow.
And so that took me from doing a deal here, doing a deal there, to all of a sudden I was still helping other clients, but all of a sudden now I'm working with this investment company that's growing.
Wow.
And so I think for me, that was kind of the tipping point in my career where it went from like here to there.
So you bought this John L. Scott franchise. Why did you do that?
So what happened is I had been here selling for 16 years, and I loved the company and I loved what they were about, and I loved the business and I loved the location and everything like that. And it was really a situation where I saw an opportunity to where I could take everything that I've been doing successfully over the last 16 years and just kind of bring that to everybody else, right?
Gotcha.
Bring it into my office. So like I looked around my office and I thought we could be more productive, we could be raising the bar for the profession, and just the opportunity to like take an office and bring more value to everybody in the office and kind of, again, raise the bar kind of for the profession a little bit within at least our little bubble. It was just exciting to me, the chance to do it. Because when you're doing it for so long and you're having a lot of success, it's turning around and kind of trying to help other people. It was exciting to me, the possibility of doing it.
That's really cool. So if somebody wants to get into, starting their own company, putting together a team, what would you tell them how to start it and how to properly run it?
Well, I think that like the money part of it, a lot of people that I was talking to were super concerned about how is this financially going to work for you, and obviously you have to make sure that financially it's going to make sense. But for me, it was all about, could I add value to the situation?
Right.
And I looked at our real estate office, and I would look at like if you're starting a real estate team, or you want to start your own real estate company, and you have to go, how can I add value to the people that are in it and the people that would be paying me? And so like the agents at this office, they're paying a split to John L. Scott.
Okay.
And so how can I add, value to the agents who want to work with me?
Right.
And if you're starting a team, how am I adding value to them?
Right. Okay.
And I think that like with small teams, there's a lot of small teams that work really, really great. But I found that most of the real estate companies that were here, they're all basically doing the same things. They're all offering the same services. It's just like a different color brand, and I thought, well, what if we did, more video? What if we did, more support? What if we did more tools? What if we did more services? What if we networked more? And I just thought, like, I know that our office could operate with way more value for the agents that are working here.
Okay.
And so as soon as I realized that was a possibility, then it was just like, let's go, let's do it,
Wow.
And so I think that you have to be passionate about wanting to make a difference and wanting to add value to the people that you're going to serve. And if you're starting a real estate company or you're starting a real estate team, you're definitely serving your clients, but you're also got to be providing more value to the realtors.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
One thing that's been super, super key to like my business is every single time I like interact with anybody, like now, especially in any sort of real estate type environment at all, or anytime I pick up the phone, even if I'm in kind of a bad mood, like just smiling while you're on the phone. Like I try to smile whenever I'm on the phone, and if you purposely think about smiling, your voice changes, and like it's just a different energy going across the phone. And I've gotten such a habit of doing that now, like, if with some of my clients, if I don't do that, I swear to God, I just think I'm talking normal, and they'll be like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" And I'll be like, "What are you doing?" And they're just so used to my energy being so like up, and I think that is going back to positive affirmations here, going into that book about happy people. Ultimately, you're making better habits and decisions. I think that. It's just a good reminder I wanted to throw at you guys that when you're around people, part of your job now is to be positive and like happy and like really somebody they want to be around, because people ultimately do business with people they want to do business with. And so just reminding yourself, I got to show up and like be my best self all the time, right? The more proactive you are, you're really helping your seller, because all of a sudden, because to get that stuff, if the electrical has a bunch of problems and the sewer line's a bunch of problems, you're gonna have to drop it 30 grand, 40 grand to get somebody to take it as is. Whereas if you're proactive about it, there might be a $5,000 solution and a $2,000 solution that'll easily resolve the issue. So this is kind of where we're really worth our money. Is like, it's one thing, it's great when you have a great listing, multiple offers, sells really fast. Where our value comes in is when shit hits the fan, are you proactively working to get it resolved.
What are some steps that do you find people in the high end of realtors do that the lower 80% of realtors don't do?
The biggest difference between the bottom 80% and the top 10 or 20%, in our top 20%, in our market, there's some amazing realtors just within our local area.
Wow.
And I've like studied them, and I'm friends with a lot of them.
Wow.
And the biggest difference with them and everybody else is when you meet them, they're true professionals. They're very trustworthy. They're usually very likable, and they take their business very seriously.
Okay.
And they're very intentional about their business.
Wow.
And so they're going, if there's a class on becoming a better negotiator, they're taking it. If there's continuing education on the legal aspects of the business, they're on top of that. They're watching the inventory. They're staying always, an expert on the market. They're staying on top of it. They're spending time on their business and in their business, both. They're not just. Whereas the average realtor is just, oh, I have this buyer, I'm going to go help them buy a house. Oh, now I have a seller, I'm going to go this way. They're jumping, and then they're just focused solely on the thing right in front of them.
Gotcha.
Successful realtors are able to look back. They're able to look at their whole business and spend, I'm going to spend 2 hours a day on this. I'm working on myself. Gotcha. I'm going to spend 2 hours a day touching base with these people. I'm going to spend 2 hours a day working on this, and I'm going to stay on all of it. And I think part of that also comes from, just people that are really driven, right?
Right.
And they have that grit and that determination, and they really want it, And so I think that's kind of the underlying, aspect of it. But it's people that have created really good habits because they're really running a business, a real estate business, and they're taking it very professionally and very seriously.
Wow. What would you say that the 80% are doing that's hurting their business?
I think primarily it's that they're not organized, and they're not. They don't have like any systems in place. They're not creating the right kind of habits every day.
Okay.
I love the book Compound Effect. Okay. Because there's so many points of it that are so true with when you're an entrepreneur. It's not like the big things you did every day, like the big activities. It's kind of those little daily habits. And to break through in real estate, it's about every day having conversations with people about real estate. It's about every day being an expert and kind of staying on top of the market. It's about every day doing all the little activities that is going to not just get you business right now, but is going to get you business moving forward.
Gotcha.
So I think it's like what I mentioned earlier. It's being a real serious professional, treating your business like a business, and then also really the agents that create good habits.
Gotcha. What are the tools that you use to help you with your, searches, with your notifications, sending notifications to your clients, finding out the latest houses on the market?
Right.
So what are the tools you have at your disposal?
If I'm just like talking to just an agent that's just in another area, if they're watching this video or something like that, I think you use the tools that you're going to use, right? Like it's not about buying like random software programs if you're not really going to take advantage of them. But in real estate, like kind of the baseline is two things. One is having what we call a CRM, which is a client relationship management program. And really what that is it goes back to the first point is you need to have all of your clients in a system, in a program where you can manage and kind of be aware of like, okay, this is when they bought their home, this is their home anniversary, this is their birthday, this is their that, and this is where they live, this is their address. I mean, if you're in real estate, you should know where your clients live, right? You should know the houses that they live in.
Yeah.
And so part of it is having a program with a client relationship management program. And then as far as property tracker, most buyers are on Zillow and on Redfin, and then most agents on using the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. So they're using their multiple listing service.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I love this company that I'm with, John L. Scott, is they always have a really cutting edge website. So I can have my clients go, okay, try johnlscott.com, use our program, use our website, and I try to get them to use our property tracker, because then we're kind of on the same ecosystem.
Right.
Because buyers are looking on their own, and then the agents are over here looking over here. And really when you get together with a buyer and you work as a team, and you get on the same website, and you're using, because they're all the websites now are all showing just about all the listings, right? So there's other ways we help buyers find homes too, but primarily when we're looking online, if you get on the same website with the buyer, it just is, you're less likely to miss out on anything because you're working together to find homes and to stay on top of new listings. And so I use our johnlscott.com, and I've always used it. I've always tried to work with my buyers to use it too. So I use our tools. I use our John L. Scott's client relationship management program. But whatever company you're with, it's about finding a program that you can work with your buyer on, and then having a management system to stay in touch with your clients.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. So with Facebook and Instagram, having your own website, how important is that in the realtor world, and how do you leverage or balance between being a realtor and posting everything about real estate versus being personal, like, hey, I like your cat, or I like your dog,
Well, I mean, if you like their cat, you gotta
you gotta say it, you gotta let them know.
But of course, in real estate, I think it's super important to have your own website and to have a Facebook page and to have an Instagram page and all of that, because when people look you up, they got to be able to find you, and they got to be able to like learn what you're about and connect with you. So you need to have all that. When an agent doesn't have their own website and they just have a page on somebody else's website, I'm always surprised by that. So you need to have your own website. You need to have all that. Now, balancing it, that's the important point you made in your question, is you do need to balance it. And I think my biggest tip would be is you need to be yourself. And you need to be really genuine, and you need to actually devote some like actual time to your content there. Because what a lot of agents try to do is they kind of say, I'm going to be on Facebook and I'm going to post this like canned article about 10 home buying tips, or like it's the fall and here's how to get your gutters clean and that kind of stuff. and they think, okay, I'm on Facebook, I'm posting this information about real estate, and so I'm doing my social media, and that's not what people are on social media for. They're on social media to connect.
Yeah.
And so whatever you do, I'm not like a social media king of social media guru guy, but I do know enough to, when I do post, it's posting for me. And if I post something about my family, it's because I want to post something about my family. If I'm posting something about a listing, it's because I think it's a cool listing and I want to share it.
Right.
If I have some real estate information, I write it out and then I share it, and it's coming from me. And I want to like share relevant personal stuff. And so you have to be yourself. You have to kind of mix in personal. And then when you do post real estate related content, you don't want to just real estate canned blah 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 blah. You want to mix it in to your post, and it should be coming from you.
Right, gotcha. So it's almost the same way when you're talking to somebody. You're not just always going to say, "Hey, I want to buy a house." Hey, every time they see you, you're like, "Oh, great, he's going to sell me a house," right? Well, you don't want to sell my house, but you want to respond to them the way you normally would, like, "Hey, how's your day?"
Exactly. And I think people treat social media like it's this different, thing, and it's really just like, it's like if somebody says, "Hey," and they comment on your picture, and then you don't respond. Yeah. It's like if somebody said, "Hi, how are you?" I like that,
and I just walk away.
And walked away. That's
exactly.
And so people don't realize, they don't make that connection sometimes, and then it's like. It'd be like, let's say I had an article on 10 housing tips. If I just like walked up to you and I was like, here's an article on 10 housing tips, you'd be like, cool.
Yeah, like a straight preacher for real estate.
Yeah. And so like, what if I was like, hey, look at this house. This is such a cool house. Yeah. Like, I love the windows and this. Like, look at this view. Right. You might go, oh, that's cool. That is cool. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. It's just got to be from you. Gotcha. And if you want to do a market update, you got to be like, look, I did this research. Here's what's going on, and here's how this matters to you. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. It can't just be like a canned thing. Boom. Gotcha. Otherwise, don't even bother posting it.
So how do you feel like you are adding the value to your realtors working at your company?
Well, so there's a lot of ways we're adding value, and the just simple ways is more training, more technology, more services for the agents. But just taking a step back, what is most important that's going on right now is the real estate industry is changing. Right. And Wall Street is putting a lot of money into the real estate industry through Zillow, through there's a company called Open Door, and even Redfin. They're starting a program called iBuyers, where it's basically instant offers on your home. And so basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to get directly to the consumer and then sell the information, the consumer's information, back to the realtors. Wow. And so our job as a company is to be hyper local and to provide, local expertise, local videos, local content, and do a better job as a company, as an office, as realtors, staying in touch with our clients and being that hyper local brand that keeps our realtors in touch with their clients.
Right. Because I feel like a lot of times those softwares and apps are just algorithms. They're not person. They don't know the community. They don't know the neighbors on the right side, on the left side. So, and that's something you guys are able to find out more about and say, hey, you would really love this neighborhood. Not just the house, but his home, right?
Right, exactly. They are algorithms, and they don't know the neighborhoods, and it's the biggest investment somebody's ever going to make. Yeah. It's a very emotional process, buying or selling a home, and because it's the biggest investment of your life, it's obviously super crucial to have an expert and to be using a local firm and a local realtor that is going to have your best interest in mind and really knows that neighborhood and knows that hyper local market. Yeah. Our office is all about hyper local content, hyper local expertise, and basically being the best at our jobs in the industry locally.
Locally, that's awesome.
Yeah, the realtors that don't start doing a lot of hyper local content and advertising, and don't become experts, don't have the right training, don't have the right tools, they're going to get cut out of the industry. So you gotta, the cream rises to the top, right? And you gotta we all have to be better. Right. Now with the way the market's changing.
Right. And so it's really important that you don't just, get your license. You don't just make a website and hope somebody's going to come to you. Right. You have to be doing what you guys are doing. Right. The hyper local, that reaching out, and so it's you're going to be left behind. You're going to be naturally.
If you're just thinking I'm going to get my real estate license and I'm just going to be this person that's hoping you get in the door. Yeah.
the internet already allows people to, you know, go online, book an appointment to see a house. They can see all the listings, or most of the listings. And so you need somebody who has the hyperlocal expertise, who is providing more hyperlocal information and knows your neighborhood and knows how to negotiate for you. And so that's what we're about here. We're not like looking to do this half-ass, if I can say half-ass.
Right, you can say that.
Yeah. We're looking to do this like be the best. That's it,
awesome.
right? So, and add more value to the client.
All right, thanks so much, Paul. This has been amazing. This is some great content, some great insider secrets that you shared with us. So make sure to subscribe, because we have more of these kind of secrets coming up on our next videos, and we'll see you next time. Make sure not to miss out on our giveaway. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, comment on the bottom what kind of business you're in and what you want to get out of this channel, and also make sure to follow us on Instagram at UpFlipTV.